welcome. This is episode 34 of Super Flashy Arrow of Tomorrow. I am your host, Sir Cussalott Travis Pointer, and I am joined by the returning Mara the Shark Watkins.
I'm back, bitches.
She's back. She just wanted y'all to know. How you doing, Mara?
I'm good.
What are you about to say?
I apologize for my my absence last week. I had some family things to check on. Nothing bad. All good stuff.
Yeah, inconsiderate ass kids, man.
Look, not everyone's babies can be as great as my baby and come out the day after we decided to record. Travis, I'm sorry.
Well, they should. All right.
I will make sure to let all babies I know in utero that.
Just because most babies don't have high enough standards doesn't mean they shouldn't have higher standards.
Touche. But thank you, Matt, for filling in for me.
Oh, he was all too happy too.
I know. He messaged me about it several times.
Like, he's been chomping at the bit for like a year to get on the show. So he was more than happy to do so.
And you guys did a good job.
You know, I try. But there's no replacing you. So, don't get used to it. That's the only compliment you're getting today. Let's go ahead and get into this, though, because we're here to talk about the Arrowverse or Flareoverse or CW-verse, whatever the fuck they want to call it. Do we have an official name for it? Have they ever given it an official name, or have fans just decided to call it something?
I don't know about the fans. I just know that everywhere else has been just calling it Arrowverse because Arrow came first.
Everywhere else, like what?
Huh?
What do you mean everywhere else has been calling it the Arrowverse? Everywhere?
Like if you're reading an article about them, like they normally call it the Arrowverse.
Yeah. That's still, I consider that fans because it's still not something that officially came from CW though, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Has CW officially called it anything before?
Nope.
I didn't think so.
It's Dare to Defy, but that's all of their shows.
Well, yeah, that's everything. Yeah. Okay. I was just curious because we talk about this show every week. I'm like, I wonder if they've actually given it a name. I don't think so, though. Anyway, that's what we're here for. So, without further dudes, let's start with Supergirl, shall we?
Supergirl was weird.
Yeah. Let's talk about it because I'm having some trouble this year.
Are you really?
I am. It's kind of interesting because when you sent me something from IGN when they were talking about it, and I was just like, yeah, you're kind of right. I mean, there's things that I disagree with in that IGN video, mostly because they just got some things wrong because they were like that John had some PTSD going on. That wasn't the case. His arm was just fucked up. But outside of that, though, it's just like I wasn't really feeling connected to anything that's really going on in any of the shows right now. It's just kind of,
Yeah, they're just kind of like going like day to day.
Yeah. Like I said, the best show still is Flash, but Anyway, let's start with Supergirl. This episode was called "Far from the Tree." This one's I guess you could say it was a Maggie episode.
Yeah.
But also a Jean episode too, because he had the stuff going on.
Okay, so I take back my original statement. Or I need to amend my original statement.
Amend your statement.
It was only really the John focusing part of it to me that was weird. Not because he's an alien or anything. It's just the whole story and stuff like that was just all kinds of, I don't know. It was just weird.
I mean, what was weird about it? Elaborate.
I think it was just weird about my emotions about it were weird. Like, I didn't like it, but I didn't really hate it. This episode, like...
It sounds like the way Supergirl has been all year, but go ahead.
It just kind of the whole episode, I had problems with the whole episode. Like, why are you having your shower when Kara's on fucking Mars? Like,
Yeah, you
Um,
could just have the shower a different day. Like
yeah,
that is
like it's kind
entirely
of like it's just
possible.
like
Yeah.
it's like kind of like just like weird things. Like no one found it weird that your sister wasn't there at your shower. Um, I feel for Maggie a lot because that sucked a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something I could never really even imagine, when you just your parents literally just abandon you because of your sexuality.
Word. And then it's like, but then you kind of like feel for her dad too because like her dad kind of was just like, I left Mexico and I came here. And I like that they kind of took from today's political crap
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and they like so they let you know that the time that they're living in the same present time that we are. Like
Hmm.
they're building a wall to keep us out. And
Even though they have a different president, but.
yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I know, I
Um
know.
Clearly anyone can just build walls
Yeah, I hear
no
you. I
matter what.
hear you.
And it also has me questioning, do they know about the other Earths then? That like, because what if that's not like an Earth 2 thing or whatever Earth that car is on? You get what I mean?
No,
I would like to imagine that we're on Earth 1 with Barry.
no,
Um,
no. Actually, I think in DC, I think we're like it's not Earth One because our Earth is a world where there's no superheroes or anything, and I think that's like Earth 20 something.
okay, so
Yeah,
we're Earth 20 something where we
I
have
think.
a
Don't quote
crazy
me on that. I don't know the
Cheeto
exact number.
covered,
I know it's not Earth One though. But go ahead.
where a crazy Cheeto covered president is building a wall
Hmm.
around Mexico. So it makes me wonder if Maggie's Papa knows about other Earths. But anywho, um, you kind of feel for him too. It's kind of like it sucks that he's a parent who can't accept his child because of her sexuality. But like you kind of
Well,
understand like he comes from a different world of thinking.
yeah, but at the same time, it's just like his reasoning behind it was because it's just like I worked so hard to get you to a point where you can be
You didn't
provided
have
for,
to
and then like
feel out.
yeah, and the thing is though, his response to something that he said would make her life so much harder was to make her life harder. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's just. I mean, I know what he was getting at, but at the same time, it's just like, yeah, you didn't help
It's kind of
things at
like
all.
I
You kind
still
of made
can't
things
get
worse.
behind it. Like that doesn't help.
Yeah, he made things worse. That's the thing. Like, but yeah, I don't know. Um. So yeah, we got the whole thing with her and her father. He shows up for the shower, for the wedding shower, and he loses his shit when he sees them kiss, and he walks out like he didn't know what he was going there for. Like
Like you thought they were gonna have a whole shower, they weren't gonna kiss. But I also feel like I love Alex sometimes. Sometimes Alex, I feel like she just does the most. Like when she gave Maggie the box and she went on that quick little speech real quick like she had something to prove or was trying to show Maggie's dad like, yeah, see, we really love each other. I was just kind of like, okay, Alex, you already know her dad doesn't like your lifestyle. Why would you go and now throw it in his face like that
what
after
this
5 minutes?
Well, at the same time, should they have like put up a front, while he was there, like
No, I mean, like, I was saying, like, I know this is coming off really hateful because you know me, I love my rainbow people, and it was kind of like one of those. It's kind of like the writers inserted it at like, Dad's been there for 5 minutes, literally has been there for 5 minutes. He's walked in, met Alex, got a beer, now they're on the couch, like kissing. So, like I could see like why it's like you gotta ease him in a little bit. Declare your love. That's cool.
yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, but at the same time, it's just like,
He gotta get over it.
yeah, like why were you even there if you like didn't like? It's like, are you gonna pretend in your head that they don't kiss? Like, is that what's going on? Is that what you're doing? Because I guarantee you they kissed before you showed up. Like at some point before you saw them, they kissed.
They do a lot more than that too.
Yeah, they do. Um, let's see. Let's talk about Jean for a bit and his his pops. Um, it was odd. I thought it was really odd at first when they were like, he didn't want to examine Jean's mind because he thought that, if he did, it would be like losing him all over again. But
I was like, that would have saved us the whole episode, though.
it really would have. That's what I'm saying. Like, we could have just skipped on past this and we could have ended this, like, 45 minutes ago. But, he just had to draw it out because, like, I can't do it. I'm like, look. That's your son, bro. Like,
Yeah, I was like, why did it take so much convincing? And then my other thing was just like, John, why didn't you just take him to your childhood home and talk about whatever he did to make him believe the first time, like from the get, like.
Yeah, a lot of like stuff is with a lot of these shows. So many things could be solved right away if people just communicate, but they don't. So it gets drawn out, which I'm seeing a lot of this season more so than normal.
I feel like they're running out of content, so they had to drag the whole "oh, I don't believe you're my son" shit.
Yeah.
Because I honestly feel like they're running out of content because they haven't really revealed anything yet. I feel like now they're just kind of just filling in stuff. I just kind of hate that it kind of just feels like from episode 1, 2, and 3 they felt like filler episodes rather than anything really prudent to the plot.
Well, this one felt more like it than the others because the first one's at least like kind of gave us a glimpse in the rain, So
yeah,
this one just okay. I don't care. We just kind of waiting for rain to get here. So
like now at this point now I'm also waiting for Monel to come back because we all know he's coming back. Like,
no, he's not.
yes, he is.
I know he probably is, but I don't want him to. Huh?
Why?
I just don't. It's just like, I feel like Jimmy didn't get a fair shake, even though, you weren't.
I feel like Jimmy and Lena are gonna be a.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a thing. Yeah, they've laid the groundwork for that. But still,
I hate my toes. Later.
I lost you for a second. What'd you say?
He's like, you're stepping all over my toes at my company, but I'm gonna bang you later.
Yeah, basically.
Wait, remind me real quick. Does Lena know about Kara? I forgot.
Nope.
Okay, I didn't think so.
That's why she was all pissed in the first episode of the season when, she kept disappearing.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I remembered that right, because I was just like, don't you know? Or I was like, no, she doesn't.
I know it's hard to remember because it seems like everybody in every show knows who everybody is, but they don't. They just...
Because everyone's horrible at keeping secrets.
Yeah. So are you okay with the Jimmy and Lena thing? I know you don't like the black guys getting no love, so...
Wait, say it again?
I said, are you okay with, the whole Lena and Jimmy thing? Because I know you don't usually like the black guys getting any love around here.
I totally want to see that. That's not my standpoint.
Listen, we all know you don't like the black guys.
I'm totally okay with that, right? Because that's gonna create some passion because they don't like each other right now. They're not too fond of each other right now, and that's just gonna make for a lot of passion on a PG level.
That's the thing. Do we really want that kind of passion on a PG level, though?
I mean, they can't really go much for. I mean,
I know.
They can only go up to like TV-13 or whatever.
I know that, but it's just like at this point with their relationship, it's like okay, they're about to give us the the CW, but we kind of want the Netflix. You know what I mean? Like.
Well, I mean, like sometimes like their passion's kind of good. I mean, like Supernatural has had some pretty intense, passionate scenes. I don't know if you know, because I don't know if you've made it through all of Supernatural to see.
No, I have not. I told you. I cut it off after they beat Satan and came back. It was with the weird things that were eating people. And like
oh, so then, yeah, you would have saw it when Sam hooked up with the werewolf girl.
See,
I think that was season 2.
You're pretending like I remember everything that I saw on Supernatural. I really don't.
Should.
Nah. I'm okay with not remembering any of it. But, let's see. Only other thing I wanted to say about this show, when they finally got that staff over on Mars, like I feel like they passed that thing around like 20 times before they actually just, it was like, John got it and then he gave it to old dude from the Resistance. Then the dude from the Resistance gave it to McGon, and then McGon gave it to Jean's dad. And then it's like, well, why are we passing this thing around so much? You could have like skipped all this middle shit and just handed it to him in the first place. I don't even remember where it ended up. I just remember it got passed around like 17 times.
I'm telling you, it's running out of content.
And then there's a whole thing with Maggie not wanting kids, and Alex is just like, yeah, I'm okay with that, but she's not okay with that.
So much deflecting. I just like, you see what I mean? Like, I love that Maggie and Alex love each other. I just feel like they have so many differences that one they haven't talked about, and that they keep bouncing around. That it's gonna break them, and that's what I think they're not gonna make through the season because
Yeah.
we already know Maggie's not staying through the whole season.
Right, exactly. So we'll see. Yeah, how she ends up getting phased out. That's probably going to be a thing. We're seeing them laying groundwork of these are fundamental
End of them, like,
differences, where they're going to have some issues and there's going to be some kind of split most likely.
I can tell you from watching years of Grey's Anatomy, if you can't even agree on kids, there's a lot of problems.
Anything else from this episode?
I want McGon to come back so John can have his love.
I feel you. Yeah. Well, with that, we can move on and talk about next week.
No?
Did
you hear what I said?
No, what did you say?
I said, do you think they have sex as Martians or as humans?
If I was them, they shapeshift. They probably do it in like as several different species.
Okay.
Like they might switch it up. Like one day they might do it as like rhinos.
Rhinos.
Yeah, man. You just switch things up every now and then. Or I don't know, horses, and then he can be like hung like a horse for real.
Oh my god.
You brought it up. Let's see. Oh yeah.
Took it there.
Yep. You should have known better. But next week's episode is called Faithful. And apparently there's some dude with a cult and he apparently has a bomb. Okay.
That's all right.
Yeah, like I don't know what they're doing with that, where that's going or why. But all right. We'll see you next week. Let's move on to Flash.
No, I won't say anything.
Oh, okay.
I liked this episode of Flash.
Here, we talked about this last week, but I haven't talked about it with you yet. Have you noticed that this Flash is not doing the intro, the voiceover thing?
Good.
It's the only show that's not doing it.
Nice.
You ever wonder, like, maybe there's a reason behind that?
Does he doesn't remember anything?
I don't know. Like, I have no idea what the reason would be. But his show is the only show that. No, I'm not like legitimately. I'm really wondering like what your thoughts are. Like I don't know, because Supergirl still does it, Legends does it, Arrow does it, Flash doesn't do it. Is that Barry? Maybe that's not actually Barry.
Oh God.
Yep, I just fucked
Just
your
what
head
I
up.
need. I said just what I need.
Yeah, we'll find out though. That's a theory that's out. There's a theory that it actually isn't Barry, that it's actually Thawne, like Reverse Flash.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but
they'll do anything to keep this nigga around.
Yeah, we'll see though. I don't think that's true, but it's a theory that's out there. But this episode was called "Luck Be a Lady."
This was a cute one.
Yeah. Thinker is watching.
And answered a question of mine. And answered a question of mine.
which was,
would he slip on marbles if he ran over marbles?
oh well, yeah, clearly he will. So yeah, starts basically about the villain, who is a girl named Becky. What they call it? What was the name they ended up giving her? Do you remember?
No,
Yeah, me neither.
I'm assuming Lucky.
But yeah, basically her metahuman power is luck. Problem is, when she has good luck, it's bad luck for everybody else around her. Big takeaway from this, though, we found out how they all got their powers. Basically, when he came out of the Speed Force, he brought out,
That dark matter everywhere.
yeah, all over the folks on the bus. So that's where, Purple Eyes and.
It's kind of just like,
Yeah. She just did a jerk off motion in case you all didn't see it, and she was spewing dark matter ejaculate all over. Yeah, we got we got Wells back in this episode also.
Who?
Wells, Harry Wells.
Wells. I think you said Will. That's why I was like, who?
Yeah, Wells. So he came back, and he came with a hologram cube from Jesse breaking up with Wally, because apparently on
Let me
Earth
tell
2,
you
people
something.
break up via hologram cube.
I would fuck someone up. I would go into their world, onto their Earth, and fuck them up.
Well, Wally apparently did go to Earth 2. He didn't fuck her up, but he actually did go to Earth 2, and nobody noticed that he was gone.
And they did it in such a good way that I honestly didn't even notice he had left either.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said when that happened. I'm like,
he was like, did any of you guys even notice that I was gone?
Yeah, I was like, no, I didn't notice. I really didn't. But that's the thing. Flash really doesn't need two speedsters on the show. He really doesn't. So, yeah. So he's gone off to find himself, I guess.
It's just weird because I feel like they did all this to get him to where he is, and then now it's kind of just like, all right, you can leave.
Interesting. I think I read something or saw something about maybe he's going to end up joining the Legends.
Okay, that'd be cool.
I mean, I'd be okay with that. I mean, that the wave rider's getting a little crowded now, but it's whatever.
Well, I mean, yeah, because when they first started, they have the same amount of people on their roster that they did then, except for Rip. They don't have Rip still, so they do technically.
Yeah, and then
have
both the
for one more.
Yeah, and then Hawkman and Hawkgirl were there before too.
But they were replaced by Amaya and Tin Man.
Right, but then Snart also.
Yeah, so now there's literally like 2 empty spaces. So
you're right. They filled those spots. You're right. I take that back.
So Kid Flash would be one of those replacements, and then they just kind of. I mean, Rip's still on the show, but he's just annoying now.
Yeah, he's not one of the legends.
He's a dick.
He is. And actually, I don't even think a lot of it is him. I think it's whoever that chick is that's running for him that looks like she's Supergirl's cousin.
God, I hate her. We're talking about the Flash.
Yeah, we are talking about the Flash. I'm sorry. Let's see.
It's cool.
Yeah, so she breaks up with Wally via hologram cube because that's just what they do on Earth 2. Also,
so weird.
We also see that Wells doesn't believe in luck. He's like, it's a series of quantum blah 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 techno babble. Let's see. The whole bad luck thing was a really interesting, I guess you say, opponent for Barry, because there's really not much he can do about it,
Yeah. The only thing I found weird about it though was the more luck she had, I didn't understand how her power was growing from that.
Yeah, that's just how it worked, I guess. The more good luck she had, the more like her radius of bad luck that is spreading because I guess she's drawing from other people's luck, and yeah, and somehow that means the particle accelerator is gonna turn on and explode. Like, okay,
It was just a lot to take in.
yeah, it was. Let me think. So yeah, apparently letting the particle accelerator go off or something like
While she was about to win something, negated her power,
yeah,
and they were just kind of like, "How did you figure that out?" He was like, "That was literally a lucky guess."
yeah. So just it is what it is. I accepted it. Um,
It was cute to watch. I won't lie.
mm,
The
yeah.
whole episode.
Let me think. Let me think. Yeah. So Wells decides to stay.
I mean, but we kind of saw that coming though.
Yeah, because they need to have a Wells on the show. It's kind of
It was weird not having him for like 2 episodes so far, but
yeah. And then let me see what else. So we know there's 12 metas that were on that bus. So they got 2 of them. There's 10 more. Um,
we also know that they're stupid 'cause they don't realize that there's a secret camera somewhere being hacked or whatever,
yeah,
watching them.
it's the samurai robot's head that's watching them.
Ridiculous. Once I figured out that was a once you figured out that was like an Android thing, I would have never left that sitting somewhere.
Oh, of course not. I mean, but they didn't think things through because them.
Reasons.
Yeah. And Cecile is pregnant, so there's that.
Oh my God, what a way to end a fucking episode.
Yeah. So there's another baby West coming.
Or, I mean, yeah.
What you mean or? What's left? Like
I was gonna dampen the mood, but then I realized this is the Flash.
what were you gonna say? Go ahead.
I was gonna be like, or maybe it's just a false alarm, but
I doubt it. Yeah.
I want to see Joe have another baby because it's just kind of funny because he already has like 2 adult children, so it's like trying to see him relearn how to be a parent again to a small child sounds funny and entertaining to me. But I also feel like it's gonna cause some trouble because he's gonna try and keep them out of harm's way as much as possible.
Of course. Yeah. Was there anything else with the Flash that you wanted to make sure we touched on?
They scared me about homeowning.
They scared you about homeowning. Well, luckily there's no metahuman with luck powers around to make your pipes explode and shit. So
There was so much going on in that house.
yeah, and then when she said, "Yeah, I don't want to sell the house," like you realize it just kind of fell apart, right? Like
Like you almost got electrocuted. You realize that, right?
like you damn near died in this house, and you okay with staying in it? What the fuck? But yeah. Next week, it's called episode is Elongated Journey into the Night. And I don't know, there's some weird stretchy dude whose arm falls off and shit. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But
Does anybody
yes,
does anybody on the CW know what they're doing anymore?
I don't know, man. I mean, I watch these shows. You watch more on CW than I do. What's going on in those other shows? What's going on in that bullshit ass Supernatural show you watch?
I'm behind by this week, but I mean, you don't even get to talk about them. They're like the OG. They're like the OGs on the station now.
Yeah, it's been foolishness for years now. I got you. But that's it. Let's move on to Legends then. This episode was called Zari, which named after the character Zari, and
Much insight.
who became a new legend because why not?
Oh, so look, there's that extra spot, that empty spot filled in right there.
Mm-hmm. So there's, they're in 2042. There's this water metahuman whose name I didn't remember, so I just started calling her Aquafina. Do you know what her name was? Because I don't remember.
No.
Yeah, so yeah, she's Aquafina now until I'm told otherwise. Maya was still going through her shit. Apparently 2042 Seattle is under martial law against metahumans. Like, being a metahuman, I guess, is illegal.
Yep.
So, yeah. It's almost like that show, Gifted. Have you seen Gifted yet?
No, I haven't started it yet, but now everyone's talking to me about it, so I guess I gotta start it.
Yeah, The Gifted is good. Kind of the same thing is going on in that show. But anyway. Yeah. Being a metahuman is illegal since 2021. And Argus is in charge of it. So one of those things, like, yo, Lila, what the fuck? John, talk to your wife. What the fuck is she doing? Unless she's dead, in which case it's not her fault.
I wonder if we'll ever see Lila again.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I would guess that eventually the story will call for it and they'll bring her in, Yeah. I mean, this episode didn't really have much in it. It was really just a setup for them to get Zari on the team.
Pretty much, like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Amaya had her vision quest, so she got back control of her powers, I mean, I will say Haywood being high on vision quest juice was pretty funny.
Okay, that's what he was on. I literally just thought they were on drugs.
Yeah, he was literally taking the same thing that, Amaya took. He tested it himself so they could, so she can go on her vision quest and it wouldn't kill her. And, yeah, so he was high on vision quest juice. And
that was hilarious, though. Trying to get him to fly while high is hilarious.
Yeah. And plus, Jackson literally asked him, like, yo, are you high? Like, you have no idea.
I love this show.
Hi. Then they had that whole thing when Amaya finally whoops Aquafina's ass, and Aquafina tells her, like, yo, I would kill you, but I would just be killing myself. So apparently, like, she's a descendant of her as well, is what I gathered from it.
I was going to say they're linked.
Yeah. I want to say they told us something at Comic-Con that's like, saying like one of the villains on the show would be like the sister or something of the current day Vixen. So Vixen, like this on like the cartoon,
Yeah.
And who made a special appearance on Arrow a couple years ago.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think I remember seeing them talk about that at Comic-Con. I could be wrong though. But in the end, Zari does join the Legends, and episode ends with Kid Ray Palmer encountering like some kind of weird beast thing in a tunnel or some shit.
Some shit.
Yeah, basically. Which leads us into the trailer for next week. The show for next week is called Phone Home, and I guess he's got the little thing, the weird little monster thing living under his bed and shit.
Little E.T. ass nigga.
Yeah, and he ends up, I guess it kills him, or he ends up dead somehow. Somehow I feel that the little monster thing doesn't actually kill him, though it's something else.
I think the government tries to kill him and then accidentally kills Ray.
Yeah.
But now I have questions.
Of course
how
he
did
did.
they accidentally kill Ray, and then Ray is still actively helping them?
Because rules of time, taking time to get to them and shit and all of that. You know,
Okay.
comic book rules. All right, just go with it. Which now brings us to Arrow.
Oh yeah.
This episode was called Next of Kin. When I first saw the title of this episode, I chuckled because it reminded me of this movie that was actually called Next of Kin. And I believe it was Patrick Swayze, and they were like, somebody killed his brother, and basically it ended up being like a whole, team of hillbilly shows up to avenge their brother. Yeah.
Oh God.
And I just remember one of the brothers showing up in a bar, and he was like, "I'm looking for the man that killed my brother." And I thought it was funny as hell. But anyway, back to Arrow. I'm just saying that's what it made me think of. So John is taking over as the Green Arrow at this point, but he's not shooting arrows because he's not an archer. So,
Right.
he tells Diane like, "Look, the Trevors are gone," and at that point I didn't believe him, but we find out later the Tremors actually are gone, but only because he's shooting up something. We get Oliver trying to do his dad thing and failing miserably.
He's trying so hard.
He really is.
Like, it just kind of sucks because, I mean, William's like, what, 12, 13 years old at this point? Like, he doesn't know Oliver like that, and I feel like he's going through like two different kinds of things right now. Like, well, a few different things. Like, he's lost the only parent he's really only known. He had to move to somewhere he's not familiar with, so he has to start over.
And he's getting random boners all the time.
What?
Said and he's 12, so he's going through puberty, so he's getting random boners all the time too.
And now he's like living with someone who, he knows, is his father, but like he doesn't know him other than the fact that he dresses up as a green archman, like fighting bad guys at night, and now like he's starting to rely on him, that's his parent, and he's kind of like, nigga, you're all I got left. Like, you gotta stop this shit.
That's the thing. He did stop the shit though.
He did, but I mean, like,
we all know he'll be back, but he did.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, unless the show was like fucking ending.
What else? Let's see. Oh, so we got, Agent Watkins still all up in his shit because her.
She annoying.
She is. I'm like, yo, just leave it alone. All right, like, they ain't hurting nobody. Leave it alone.
They've given you proof that he is not the Green Arrow, and blah 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 blah. So you just like what? Like, you just not gonna let it go?
My thing is, even if they hadn't gave her proof that he's not the Arrow, like, he's actually like, the Arrow hasn't really hurt anything. Like, he's fixing shit. So you know what I mean? So just leave it alone. Leave it alone. I feel like, law enforcement should be embracing them because they're making law enforcement's job easier. But,
For real, like, you can get so much done if you're not focusing on trying to find the vigilantes and take them down.
Yeah, that was Oliver's point at the end. Like, yo, we wasting resources and them chasing down vigilantes when they should be, like, actually protecting the city. Let's see. What else was so Oliver and Felicity, kind of bring Felicity into William's life now. Like, She slides in as the math tutor first. And he's like, yeah. So, but he kind of gets the okay from him later though. When we was like, she's cool, and Oliver's like, yeah, she is cool. He's like, haha, winning.
But you gotta ease him into it.
Yeah,
You can't just have him. You can't have him be tutored once and be like, yeah, she's gonna move in and she's gonna sleep in my room.
Well, he's not telling her to move in. He just gave her a key so she can get in. I was only like.
But if she sleeps over, she's sleeping in my room. Yeah, nothing sus.
Yeah, nothing weird. She's gonna sleep in here with me, even though you're 12 years old, so if she's in here, we're banging.
Maybe he doesn't. Maybe his mom, didn't open his world to that kind of stuff yet.
He's watched TV. All right.
Okay. Not all you, Travis.
Huh?
They're not all you, Travis.
I mean, if they've seen television, though, I feel like they kind of figure things out. So yeah, John ends up getting his shit together because he was fucking up at first, not being able to make decisions
John's
and
been
shit.
Fucking up for a while.
Yeah. But he gets his shit together. They make some decisions, and he makes the hard choices, and they get through it, and yada yada yada, and gets a new crossbow because he has to be able to shoot arrows so he can be the arrow, or the green arrow. I'm sorry, because it's different.
I feel like, do they really think no one's gonna notice that, like, cause you can see their faces under the hood, so it's kind of like you don't think anyone's not gonna be able to tell.
You can't see his face because he's wearing a mask and a hood.
But you can still see his jaw.
No, you can't.
One is black, one is white, Travis.
You can't tell. They don't see color, Mara.
They don't see color.
That's the thing. Even if they could tell, they would lie about it because they'll be like, "We don't see color."
I'm like, what do you mean one's black and one's white? What is that? What does that even mean?
Yeah. But yeah, we end the episode with John getting these weird injections into his arm and shit.
John's over here drugging up.
Well, that's controlling his tremors. What's up, Luna?
She said I'm awake.
Right. I know. I don't like it either. So yeah, he's got his tremors under control. The way he did it is sus, but he got it under control.
And it's gonna become a problem because Oliver's gonna find out about it, and then he's gonna be like, "You can't do this anymore, John," and takes his newfound position away from him, forcing Oliver to come back. That's how we all know it's gonna go down.
You may very well be right.
I won't accept it any other way.
Yeah, you will.
Because it's like the only way Oliver would just all willy-nilly come back is if William died. And we all know they're not going to kill William.
Oh, we don't know that. We don't,
but I could probably bet that they wouldn't.
Yeah, more likely than not, William won't have anything happen to him. But yeah.
Oliver has a better chance at losing custody of William.
That's entirely possible too.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, because the villain in this, we didn't even talk about the villain on this episode because it really didn't matter. It was kind of just a backdrop for John to get his shit together and all that.
I still don't even understand what her shit was.
Well, they stole $100 million worth of gold, and she was killing off people who used to be a part of her team who tried to break off from them, and because she didn't want any witnesses or anybody that knew what they did, so she was killing them off, and she was using nerve, like she was doing fake terrorist attacks to kill the people who knew what happened. Yeah, so next week, episode is called Reversal. Laurel's back. She's like seducing people and killing them.
What else would Laurel do?
Yeah, I don't know. some Black Siren shit right there. So yeah, she's up to something because she's following somebody's orders. We saw the first week, so we'll find out. Anything else with Arrow that you wanted to talk about?
Oliver and Felicity kissed.
Yeah, well, we kind of knew they were basically back together already. But yeah, they did actually, get a kiss and did a whole fade to black thing. They clearly were getting it on after that. Yeah.
Let's get it on.
Yeah, basically.
Sorry.
Okay.
You know how excited I am for this, Travis. I've wanted this since Felicity lost the use of her legs.
And was able to walk again in the process. Left her ring on the table and shit. Anyway.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I need Laura to get her shit together and we can get the proper relationship again. But, yeah, that's it for that. Who's winning this week, Mara?
If I had to say someone was winning this week, I would say Felicity.
Why is Felicity winning?
Because she's getting her and Curtis's little tech business up off the ground, and she's getting her love life back on track.
Okay. And who would you say is losing?
Losing? Even though it was bad luck, can I say that, like, what the fuck is her name? Barry and Iris are collectively losing because they lost both their venues for their wedding?
Yeah, I guess so.
That sucks.
Okay. I'm with you on that one.
6 weeks before your wedding? Well, I mean, it could also be said that Joe's kind of ambiguous if he's winning or losing. Like, that's a win-lose situation.
What's a win-lose situation? The baby?
Yeah. Like, it's great. It's awesome news that Cecile's pregnant, but it's also kind of bad because, like, his life is in danger, like, every fucking week.
This is true. Okay. Well, I think that's going to be it for this week. I'm going to end it here. We're going to...
This is a great week back, Travis.
He said what?
This is a great week back, Travis. Should have let Matt have this week. God damn it. This week was so boring.
It was a really boring week. Not much was happening. But it's okay. That's what we're here for. Because... Yeah. Oh, man. You can find me on both Twitter and Instagram at Sir_Cussalott. That is at SIR_CUSSALOTT. Shark, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at MaraDeShark_. That's MARADASHARK_.
And you can also follow us collectively at Creation Magazine on both Twitter and Instagram. Also, be sure to follow the other podcasts, subscribe, like, share, all that kind of stuff. We also have Smacking It Raw, which comes every week for you wrestling fans out there. Monthly, we also have Creation Conversation, which will be back in about a week. Yeah. We also, have specials because there's certain times when things happen, we just got to talk about them, and it needs its own episode. But yeah, we're going to end it here. We'll see you all next week. Until then, stay creative, stay free.
Laters, y'all.